Hiya, my name's Brian Connaughton. Rose from Soundbox asked me to do a quick Q&A about this. This is a CD I've just self-released. It's called Winter Sun. It's an EP rather than an LP, so it's 20 minutes long. And it went to Spotify and platforms, all that stuff, end of September, and then the physical ones turned up in the middle of October. So I've got rows of questions here, so I'll just blitz through them. So what spurred me on to make it, to do the recording? Well, so I used to be in a band called Glasswalkers, and I had an idea maybe 3 years ago, a bit longer, for a story with music, the concept. And we talked about doing it live as a band, and we never did it. And it was sort of one of those things kept going away, coming back in my head, going away, coming back in my head. And then anyway, the Glasswalkers came to an end a year ago, virtually. And I just thought, well, that gives me some time to record it then, to do the recording. So I got onto a mate of mine from Liverpool, a man called Colin Heaney, who's a very good musician and very good at the tech side, the production, arrangements, that sort of thing. And we got together in a room physically and did some guides, and then the lockdown came. So he was in Liverpool and I was in Llangollen in North Wales, recording things at home and then passing them back between each other, mostly with Col saying, "That won't do, Brian, that's not good enough, that you need to redo that." Quite a bit of that went on. So it was just because I had this idea and I wanted to deal with it, get out my system. Did I set out to write a concept album? Well, EP. Yes, in that the storyline came very. There's a phrase at the end of it: "Out of the West, a stranger will come," and that was where the starting point of the whole thing came from, and that story kind of coalesced in my mind. It's sort of usual. It's about love and obsession and betrayal and secrets. And so once the storyline was in my head, then I had to write songs to fit that, which isn't what I normally do. I normally sit with the guitar and what turns up, turns up. So that was a challenge at first to kind of try and do that. But so I didn't have any songs initially. I just had an idea, and then eventually the songs came about. If I had to pick one track that epitomizes the vibe of the album, so the middle song is called "The Wind It Blows," and that, I would say, that pretty much says a lot about the songs, about the style of it, about what it's saying. What do you consider the most rewarding aspects of producing this recording? Well, getting it done, really. When you've had something rattling around your head for 3 years, it's getting it out your head and into a physical domain, that you can actually play or give to somebody or send them a link. That was great, actually. That was like a relief. And then working with Colin again, because I used to be in a band with Colin in Liverpool, and we've known each other a very long time. We've worked together a lot, and it's one of those relationships where I kind of know what he'll do. I kind of know where he'll go with things. So that was great. They're just getting it out. So why did I choose to do it collaboratively rather than trying to do it solo? Well, one, I'm a great believer in collaboration because I think that as a songwriter, you can be too close to things and you don't always see the wood for the trees, and it's great to have somebody to go, well, that bit's right and that bit's not right. It's also great, and this is magical to me, absolutely magical, that you go to somebody with a song and you play it to them and they come up with an idea you'd never think of. But it's brilliant. It really works, and you'd never have thought of that. And I love that. That is just amazing to me. Like I say, magical. And that's one of the things Cole does all the while. So it's kind of, I guess that's symbiotic in a way, you know. Anyway, that's why, because other people have ideas you don't have, and they may well be much better than the ideas that you are having, and you should embrace that as a songwriter, I think. So technical issues with doing it during lockdown, not being able to see each other, lots of communication. That was an issue. You've got to, because you're not sitting in a room going, oh, I don't think that's right. You've got to, somebody's got to record something, you send it to someone, they've got to send it back and go, no, I don't think that's right. So that can be, you know, that can be testing. That can definitely be testing, because, you know, a few tetchy texts and conversations. It's not, timing's not good. Well, I did it to a click, stuff like that. The other thing, obviously, tech stuff, bit rates, and you know, because it's all digital, so your bit rates and your formats and all that stuff's got, you've got to make sure you're doing that in the same bag, you know. Obviously, one of the things we had tech was the artwork, getting the artwork the right size for the printer. We must have sent it backwards and forwards. The DPI wasn't big enough, and then wasn't physically the right size. I sent one off, and when it turned up at the printers, it was the size of a postage stamp. So that was that was a bit fraught as well. Getting emails, won't work. This can't print this, it's too grainy. So that's basically it, really. It's a story that came to me, and I knew I had to. I felt I really needed to get out of my system. When the band was no more, I knew I wanted to work with Colin, because of our relationship and our knowing each other. And I'm actually very pleased. I'm pleased it's done. I'm pleased it's finished. And thank you very much, Rose, Soundbox. Thank you for listening, if you have. Thank you. Cheers now.